Well, g'day Northlight. Good to be with you again in this way. I wanted to give you a couple of announcements about how we're going to return to church when the health orders allow us to do so. So today I just want to speak about how we conduct ourselves as Christians at this time next week, or maybe the week after, on the logistics of how we're thinking about that return, to give you some details of how it will affect us and work for us at Northlight. For the first time ever, the government have signalled an introduction to a discriminatory system within community life, in this case between the double vaxxed and those who are not. And as we return to in-person meetings, our church will follow the health orders of the day, as we have all along, and as is our duty as Christians to obey our government. So we will do that. The health orders are that when we reached 70% double dose in our community, we'll be able to meet, but also required to refuse entry to those who are not double vaxxed. This is not going to be a permanent measure, neither is it religious discrimination, because it's a health measure for the whole state. And so we will comply. And to give you confidence and to give you examples, all the ministry staff will be double vaxxed by the time the lockdown is projected to end. You should also know that we will continue with live streaming services for those for whom that will be necessary. Besides, we're not sure how we can fit everyone in under the 4 square metre rules. In our church, per our areas, large portions are on the way to being double vaxxed. Our area is amongst the highest in the nation, and so this is a wonderful thing. But our church also has non-vaxxed people within, some who are like that because of medical reasons, others who are there because of conscience reasons. Our church also has immunosuppressed people within it, those who are vulnerable to chronic illness because should they catch the disease. So we have to consider them as well. And so the trick for us will be how to resume in person where we have a community with those kinds of mixture of people within it, and how do we love each other in that sort of a context. Firstly, the immunosuppressed amongst us should know that we will comply with all the health orders at the time. And so the point of that is, if you have confidence in the health orders, then you can know that we will be working hard as a church to comply with them, and you should have that same level of confidence. Those who choose not to get vaccinated, I think, should seek out the best medical advice for their own health, but also to consider that of the community at large. Whilst on the one hand, this is a matter of conscience, whether you get vaccinated or not, it's also an act of love for the wider community. And we have to weigh these things as Christians. On the other hand, it would be disappointing, given the high rates of vaccination in our area, for people to look down on those who, for their own reasons of conscience, choose not to get vaccinated. If in good conscience they choose not to be vaccinated, then the scriptures actually tell us how we should behave towards one another. As Bishop Michael Stead pointed out just this week, the Bible has chapters dedicated to this sort of problem, including 1 Corinthians 8-10, Romans 14, for example. And those passages speak of the weaker brother principle, where we consider the view of the other to be weaker or ill-informed. How do we then behave? You could get all self-righteous about it, but the Christian does not impose their views on others. Rather, we act in love towards those with whom we disagree. And this is really important that we grasp this, that we consider the weaker brother, the vaccinated or the unvaccinated, however your stance is and you view the other way. So Bishop Stead actually recommended this week that we read Romans 14 twice, substituting the word eat meat for get vaxxed on the first run through, and then on the second run through read or substitute the words don't get vaxxed. And the point is, the argument works whether you hold this view or that view. The weaker brother principle works either way, whether you think you're the stronger one or not. And either way, the scriptures tell us to act in love to the person with whom you disagree. So friends, I want to say to you, try it, read it out, read Romans 14 and substitute those words on each reading. Get vaxxed, don't get vaxxed. And you'll see how we're to regard one another during these times where we have differing views, even within our own community. If we do this, if we live out those chapters in that way, we will be a light. We will be North Light in our community, which will not have these tools on how to live in this divided context. Well, there you go. There's my thoughts for you for this week. Stay tuned for next week, perhaps the week after. We'll let you know how we plan to return to North Light in-service church services with all the complications of 4 square metre and other restrictions. So we'll be in touch soon.